Now I'm sick and broken hearted, and I know what that song means now. Well, I heard him sing old blues and sing about the blues.
Well, everything is better with cows around. Hey, so Cows Around, yeah. Cows Around started out with that little snippet, just that little germ. And this is a good example. This is a recurring theme in these little discussions. But a lot of my songs, I hardly ever write a song in an afternoon. Hardly ever. I usually write songs over the course of months. I get little chunks, and I have a bunch of chunks swirling around in my head. And this is one of them. This is a perfect example. I had this idea that everything is better with some cows around. I had that little snippet for probably a couple of years, and I knew eventually I was going to, write the verses all sarcastically, put a bunch of sarcastic shit in the verses about how much of a pain in the ass they are, but I never really fleshed it out musically until it sort of came to me last year after thinking about it for months and months and months. But it turned into kind of a complex song, actually, from that simple little idea. For as silly as it is, it's kind of complex musically, relative to what I usually do anyway. It's got kind of a typical simple jazz swing chord structure for the chorus. I'll walk you through it. It's a little complex. This is sort of for advanced guitar students, but it goes from the root chord to the 3. It's a 3/7 chord. And then the 6 minor to the 2/7, back to the 1 to the 6 chord on the 7th, 2 minor 5/7, back to the 1. So 1 chord 3/7, 6 minor 2/7, 1 chord 6/7. 2 minor, 5/7, 1. So there's an assignment for you. You learn that. And then it gets weirder yet, because after that it goes into this weird sort of structural sort of bridge thing that leads you into the verse each time, which goes. What else you gonna spend that extra, whatever, right? And to me that sounds normal, but I've been told by a bunch of people that it ain't. So I don't know, maybe it comes from the speed metal years. But yeah, so it got more complex and more complex, and pretty soon there's a whole another thing for the verses. They're in a whole different it sort of almost modulates to the 5 chord on the verses, and then back to the 1 for the choruses. And if that wasn't enough, then we put a bridge in it and kind of gave it on the record sort of Ghost Riders in the Sky kind of feel, and that just goes from the 1 down to the 6 minor and back and forth. Yeah, and then that's all finished, and then Grant comes up with a little lead melody that's sort of based on the chorus, which is. So, and then we harmonize that, and yeah, so it turned into this kind of monstrosity, which I'm happy with. I really like it. I think it's maybe the most complicated cow song out there. I don't know, but in terms of learning guitar stuff on it and learning song structure, it's probably one of the more complex ones on the record. So give it a shot if you like, but it might be better to tackle something else first. But another interesting thing about this song is it's a good example of how sometimes I'm rambling. Some of my songs I get them. They're very difficult to fill out. Like I'll get a chorus and an idea for a verse, but I have to beat my brains into to fill in enough to get 2 verses and a chorus just to lash it all together. And then other songs are the total opposite, like this one, where once I get the structure, I'll come up with like 10 verses, and they just keep coming and keep coming. And so that's one of the. And luckily, since we did the acoustic version and the electric version of this on the Cabin Fever record, I was able to swap out some of the verses. So there's 2 or 3 verses in the electric version that are swapped out with different verses in the acoustic version. And otherwise, I would have had to either leave some of them out entirely, or else, the song would be 10 minutes long. It's already like 5, so I don't know. Let me bestow this western blessing and share what I have found. May you always have cows around. May you always have cows around. And the cow mooing part, you gotta figure that out on your own.
Well, my legs have both been shattered, and I know what that song means now. My sons have both been slaughtered, and I know what that song means now.